Hello and welcome. In this video we'll be taking a look at Flying Iron Simulation's latest release, the P-38L Lightning. Now this thing comes in 9 different flavours. Just to go through some of them, I mean obviously the Flying Iron Simulation's own style paint job has got to be done, but there are other recognisable ones, and if you are from the UK and you were around during the early 90s, you would recognise this paint scheme, California Cutie. Now this is the paint scheme that the previous European P-38 was flying in when it crashed at Duxford back in July of '96 at the Flying Legends Air Show. So I've got a bit of a soft spot for this paint job. It's not exactly the same, it's not got the same serial number or anything like that, but the paint job is near enough. And so yeah, I'm going to jump into this one. We're going to fly from Duxford obviously and take a look at it. So before we jump in the cockpit, I thought we'd have a quick walk around, have a look at the textures and the modelling. And as you can see, she's a beautiful bird. That and the tiger cat are what stick out in my mind from the Duxford air shows and the Milton air shows from the early 90s. This was a beast of a plane. California Cutie being the one that crashed back at Flying Legends in '96. So I've kind of linked the two together at Duxford at the moment, and funnily enough that was owned by the old Flying Machine Company, and just thought it might be a bit apt to have it fly from there and in this livery. So taking a look a bit more detail of the livery, obviously we've got chips and oil streaks and all that good stuff you'd expect from a used and abused aircraft, even around the charger intakes there. It does look the part, and the modelling of the aircraft itself is spot on. It just looked absolutely fantastic. Now I don't know too much about the P-38 other than that it was bloody quick. But this is the L variant, the Lima, so we've got the long aerial sticking out the bottom. Not sure what that's for. If anybody cared to tell me, then just leave a comment. But the last one that I saw fly was a J, yeah, still leaves an impression on my mind now. So with that sort of skimmed over, I suppose, we'll jump into the cockpit. Okay, so looking around the cockpit, it's very busy, very cramped. Always did surprise me that the P-38 was flown with a flight yoke. Still surprises me to this day. Click down here, that disappears. Just looking around, textures, everything looked really good, especially in these sections here, even on the modern equipment. But my only negative thing is the front panel here. Not this section here, this bit here. And for some reason it's reminiscent of AlphaSim / Batavia releases back when they were making things for FSX. Just seems a little bit flat. I don't know if it's because of my settings that I've got on the game. I mean, I'm not running full spec, so it probably looks better on your machine than it does mine, but there's just something about it, it just seems a bit flat. But anyway, other than that, it looks brilliant. We'll just bring the yoke back in. Looking around up the top here, you see a red bar. If you click that, it brings the lid down, and then you've got a locking mechanism at either side. Clicking one will do both. Just remember that if you don't lock it, you'll lose it, so bear that in mind. Down to your left hand side, we've got rollers for the windows. just like we used to have in cars back in the day, before electric windows were mainstream. So I'm going to open those again because I will want you to hear the engine starting up once I get round to it. So we'll get round to getting the aircraft started. Okay, so left engage. It's the tricky part because you've got to jump straight over to the starter. Oh, I love that noise. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll just jump outside, do a walk around again. Bring the flaps down. Check the dive brakes again. They work. Okay, so we'll get back in and we'll start rolling. Right, now we're going to try and manoeuvre in a very small space. So right engine on, take the parking brake off. Okay. Right. Okay, so one thing that's good about this aircraft is that the twin Allison V1710 111 V12 liquid cooled turbo supercharged piston engine is that they run opposite to each other. The propellers, the left-hand engine spins left, right-hand engine spins right. And just to make it clear that the right-hand engine is a V1710113 V12 liquid cooled supercharged piston engine, both kicking out 1,600 horsepower each, so no slouches, plenty of power to play around with, but you do need to be careful because if you keep the manifold pressure up for too long, you can damage the engines and you will start to smoke. So there is that to consider as well. So manifold pressure management is a must, but you won't get any torque steer, which is a good thing. That is so long as you keep both engines at the same RPM. Okay. Make sure there's no one flying around, and we'll make our way out to the runway. Okay, line up, make sure everything's in the green, which it is. Temperatures in the green, fuel's in the green, oil is almost in the green. So get up into the air, and the idea is I'm going to get up to altitude and just see how it handles higher up, and then I'm going to do some aerobatics in it. Gear up, trim up. I don't want to push the manifold too much because I don't want it to I really don't want it to start smoking. I'll follow the M11 to Cambridge, and we'll climb to 10,000 feet, and then I will do my manoeuvres and just see how it handles, and yeah, bring it into land. So just level it up and start our climb. I'll speed it up now. So we're at 10,000 feet. I'm going to level off now. One thing I will say is that it's not scared to climb. It really climbs like mad. And I've not even used full throttle on it, and the prop pitch has been pulled back slightly as well. I mean, this thing has got power for days. Good thing is I haven't busted the manifold pressure, so yeah, I'm over 10,000 feet now, so I've switched on oxygen, and as you can see the blinker's going. So let's do some manoeuvres and see how it handles. So we put it in a slight dive, and we've got the XRAF water beach just down there between the nose and the engine there. So we're over my neck of the woods. That's old RAF Oakington building site down there, and my village is down here, so this is a popular area for warbirds to come and do their manoeuvres, so we're in the right area. Okay, so in a shallow dive, I'm going to pull up. I'm pulling some G now, my guy's doing the G tick. Yep, handles lovely, very nice. Okay, and roll it over. Yeah, very nice again, very responsive. Let's see why these were popular fighters back in the day. Let's do a bit of low level, bring it down, getting a bit bumpy. Off oxygen now. Buzz the tower at Cambridge and then probably brake for land. But yeah, this thing is a joy to fly. Very stable. It's not jumpy, it's not twitchy or anything like that. It does very much as it says on the tin, which is what you'd expect from a module like this. Just throttle right back. So yeah, I would thoroughly recommend this. I knew it would be good when they first announced it. The Spitfire seems very popular, with good reason, and I can see this one being very popular as well. But I am a bit biased, and I will say it's a shame it's not on DCS, because this thing would be great. But I won't complain too much, because I do have Flight Simulator to use it on, so yeah. So drop the gear, we Do have the dive brakes on. One notch flap. Two notches of flap. Okay. Final, so bring down the flap all the way. Throttle right back. Oh, it was a bit heavy. But we're down. No manifold damage, and we're down at Cambridge. Okay. Beautiful machine. So, yeah, is it worth the £24 I paid for it? Yes, very much. You get quite a bit for your money. Already quite a lot of liveries. Very decent startup. Majority of the cockpit is clickable, if not all of it. Yeah. So if you get a chance, give it a go and see what you think. But I definitely, I'd highly recommend this. Anyway, if you've got this far, thank you for watching, and as usual, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.